let's have some fun, guys. Yo, let's redraft the 2014 NFL draft.
All right, so how we gonna do this? Who's gonna
Who
go
has the
first?
number one pick? Do we
So
have
we're
like our
doing the
names in the
first
hat?
10 picks.
Yeah.
And one of us, I guess the person that gets the first pick, are we going to let the number one pick guy get also the 10th and that extra fourth selection? And the other two people have three? We got odd numbers here to work with.
We'll fight for the 10th pick. We all just
You want
drop.
to do rock, paper, scissors?
Maybe we can all give our 10th
Yeah,
pick.
we'll all give it.
Yeah, we'll do it together.
Okay.
We'll be in the
So who
same.
wants first pick? What are we doing here?
Can we do rock, paper, scissors on here?
All right, let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
No. I don't play rock, paper, scissors like that.
Nah, see, y'all cheated.
It's rock, paper, scissors, say.
Hold on, I got a quarter.
For me, it's rock, paper, scissors, so shoot.
Yeah, that's how it's
my finger, my hand was kind of low, so you couldn't see my upward finger. I was making the scissor. You can't really see it.
This is between John and Justin. John, call it in the air. Ready?
Why are you at the top of the bracket?
It's heads.
Heads. Okay. No, I don't want to. You guys, between you guys. So, John, do you want first pick or you want Justin to go
I
first?
want the first pick.
Okay, you go. And then Justin, you'll go second, and then I'll go third.
So we were having issues before with our drafts sounds, but we're gonna play in post. With the first overall pick, I'm not even thinking about this. Basically, before we start, I'm gonna give you all 30 seconds on the clock. The 2014 draft, let's just talk about it first before I actually give my first overall pick. I was ready to immediately dive in. This class was definitely very strange, like any draft class, but it was also absolutely stacked. At the top, you have Aaron Donald, Javanian Clowney, the first overall pick. I mean, I think looking back now, it's kind of crazy. Donald went at pick 13 to the Rams. The Rams actually had pick number 2. That player is no longer in the NFL. And it's funny how the draft works. You can absolutely nail one selection, not even come close to sniffing the other one. There's also, this is one of the best receiving draft classes in recent memory. You have Devonta Adams at Fresno State, OBJ, Jarvis Landry, both out of LSU, Mike Evans, made Johnny Manziel first round pick. He's my boy, I gotta be honest. Allen Robinson, Brandon Cooks, Martavis Bryant, Kelvin Benjamin, Sammy Watkins. I mean, this was an absolutely loaded class at the receiver position. Anything else you guys would like to add? Any players, any notes before we jump right on in? I'll give top 10 picks.
You mentioned Kelvin Benjamin. That's a name that I remember after his first season. I was like, man, this guy's going to explode with Cam Newton. And it exploded, but not in the good way. Not in the good way.
A little beef.
What a shame, man. The kid had so much talent, too. All right, we'll keep going.
Start it off, Johnny boy.
So let me read off the picks. The first overall pick, the Texans, they took Javanian Clowney. The second pick from Washington, I think it was the RG3 trade. The St. Louis Rams took Greg Robinson. The third pick, the Jaguars took Blake Bortles at UCF. Nice pick. With the fourth overall pick, the Bills, using the Brown selection, who moved from number 4 to number 9, the Bills selected Sammy Watkins at Clemson. Yeah. With the fifth pick, the Rams took Khalil Mack out of Buffalo.
Raiders.
I said the Rams. With the fifth pick, the Raiders took Khalil Mack. The sixth pick, the Falcons took Jake Matthews, offensive tackle. Seventh pick, Tampa Bay went Mike Evans. Eighth, Cleveland, they swapped with the Vikings, who had the eighth pick. They used it on Justin Gilbert, former Pittsburgh Steeler. Ninth overall pick, which was the Brown selection, the Minnesota Vikings took Anthony Barr. And with the last pick of the top 10, the Detroit Lions took Eric Ebron. As a Steeler fan, boy, am I glad I'm there to watch him play for my team again. Moving on. I had the first overall pick, John and Post. With the first overall pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Aaron Donald out of the University of Pitt.
That is so easy.
No brainer.
That's not.
We're talking about a player who was an absolute killer at Pitt. And he comes into the NFL and immediately, literally, first year in the NFL, not only defensive rookie of the year and a Pro Bowler, but this was a guy who had 9 sacks in 16 games. You don't see it, or 12 starts. That's pretty crazy. The following season, in 2015, All-Pro. Next season, All-Pro. And the year since, he won Defensive Player of the Year in 3 of the next 4 seasons. That is nuts. And it's I can't speak. Within 8 years, almost half of those seasons, he's won Defensive Player of the Year. Now, as a Steeler fan, I'll admit in 2020, it was very close between him and TJ Watt. I wasn't really sure who should have won. But let me tell you, man, when it comes to defensive tackles, this is the best one I have ever seen in my lifetime. He is just an absolute game changer in the middle, and this is the Patrick Mahomes of defensive players. Back at CSB, we were talking to our boy Bert about it. In football, right now, 8 years later, even at the age of 31 years old, I don't think there's a single defensive player who can shapeshift the defense the way Aaron Donald can in the middle. And I still think going to his 9th year, this is the best defensive player in football. And that's with some of the best edge rushers we've ever seen. TJ Watt just tied Michael Strahan for the sacks record. Myles Garrett is another guy in his division who is just unstoppable. And look at all those defensive game changers who are years younger than Donald, by the way. And even still, Super Bowl champion. He only played 6 years in the 2010s. He made the All 2010s team. 8-time Pro Bowler, 7-time All Pro. He's just an absolute force. And considering the fact he is a Pitt alma mater, the Houston Texans will pair him up with J.J. Watt. Can you imagine that?
Imagine that.
Holy cow.
All right.
Whew.
I think it's my pick now.
The second overall pick.
At the time, St. Louis Rams. So it's very easy. I could have went a lot of ways, but looking at the Rams roster back then, they're missing one big thing: a quarterback.
No, you're not. Oh my God, no,
So
it's not.
I have to jump. I have to skip Khalil Mack, and I have to get me a signal caller, man. I have to. This man just signed a big time 3-year, $100-and-something million extension with the Raiders. Bring Derek Carr to St. Louis. Put him with, was it Jeff Fisher at the time?
Yeah.
So, I'm going with Derek Carr. Mr. DC. They had Austin Davis under center that time. So come on. You need a quarterback. There's not so much that Khalil Mack could do if he's walking into that. So I'm going with Derek Carr. I don't got to go on no speech about it. They don't have one. Think about it. If you were in their shoes, why wouldn't you take a quarterback?
Because he's not a second pick worthy quarterback.
But when you're talking about the most important position in all sports, you can reach for that if you know, hey, you're getting yourself not only a Pro Bowler, but a guy who in some years could even not only lead the class, maybe even make an All-Pro.
Call me crazy, but
you
guys
crazy.
already know it. Listen, when we broke down our top 10 quarterbacks, Derek Carr was on my list. I got love
on your list because you're a crazy man.
You're right.
An MVP discussion, my man. 3rd year in the game, 2016.
I think you got to put some respect on Derek
2016?
Yeah.
It was 6 years ago.
You see what he did this last season? Taking a team with no head coach. He lost his vertical X factor. Hunter Renfrow was his main guy, and he had no problem taking him to the postseason.
Whatever.
The Raiders took Derek Carr in the second round.
I mean, I should have expected it from John to throw a whole wrench into this draft, but I get it's Justin who throws this wrench. Oh, I'm gonna take Derek Carr with the 2nd pick in the draft just because we need a quarterback.
Look at this. All right, quarterbacks taken in the 1st round of the 2014 draft were Blake Bortles, Johnny Manziel, and Teddy Bridgewater.
No, I'm not arguing that he's better than all 3 of them. I'm saying he's not 2nd pick of the draft worthy.
Well, guess what, bud?
We're valuable at the end. He's got a point. He's got a very good point.
Okay. He's got a very good point. No, he doesn't have it. Okay, because take the best player available, and Khalil Mack was the best player available.
You can have him with
You can have him because guess what? When I'm in the playoffs with a quarterback, you can.
Yeah, you think the St. Louis Rams they make it okay?
He just took a trash Raiders
Alright,
team
so
around him outside Darren Waller.
now I gotta decide because Justin obviously has to throw the wrench into the game plan of who.
So you're going with Khalil Mack, number 3?
Well, his quarterbacks are Blaine Gabbert and Chad Henne, so that's gonna really
No,
take
you
him
know
to the
what?
playoffs.
I'm gonna take. This is
Jimmy
kind of
G?
a huh?
Jimmy G?
Jimmy G. Jimmy Garoppolo. So it's a toss up between Khalil Mack and I think I'm gonna go with the guy that I put there on my list before Justin threw a wrench in everything. Zach Martin. So with the third pick in the 2014 NFL draft, redraft, Jacksonville Jaguars select no more Blake Bortles. Zach Martin, offensive guard. Okay. This guy has been probably the best guard in the NFL since he's been drafted. The guy made a first team All Pro in his rookie year. Okay. He's been a first team All Pro 5 times, a second team All Pro 2 times, and a 7-time Pro Bowler. And like John said about AD, who is in the 2010 All Decade team for the NFL, so is Zach Martin. All right. Never missed a game. He's played 120 out of 120 games. He's a bona fide Hall of Famer, probably first ballot. I'm going Zach Martin
Okay.
out of
He really
Notre
was
Dame.
I won't fight that.
with Travis Frederick and some of those guys. He really was the blueprint of that Cowboys offensive line.
Yeah.
Well, Jimmy G is getting a lot of success in. Okay. So
Gonna
with
take-
the 4th overall pick, I had the Buffalo Bills. I'm in a dilemma. So we just took EJ Manuel as a rookie. He couldn't even complete 60% of his passes. Kyle Orton, in fact, would actually start more games than him. And at the same time, we have just about no talent on our offense. And though the Bills were remarkably able to win some games this last season in 2013, whew, we really just need a franchise quarterback.
No, you're not. He's not gonna do it. He's joking. He's
Desperately. Sure, we won 6 games. Doug Marone's in the hot seat, too. I mean, 2 years and the last 2? This was his first year, excuse me. But he's only got maybe 1 more year on the job. And who knows, at that point, maybe they had to, as an organization, scramble to a coach like Rex
oh
Ryan.
my god, just get on with
So-
it. You're not gonna say it. You're not.
With the 4th overall pick in the 2014 NFL redraft, the Buffalo Bills are going with the Buffalo product himself, Khalil Mack.
Thank you.
We know one thing for sure. It's that Jimmy G and Teddy Bridgewater are just a stopgap. They're a bridge. And the opportunity to get a guy from Buffalo who is going to be an absolute wrecking ball on the edge for the next 7 years, and we can really just build our defense around that. The offense is going to be hot trash. What are we going to do? Throw a quarterback into the mix when his only weapons are Sammy Watkins, a young Robert Woods, and Marquise Goodwin? I don't think so. We'll wait another year. We'll win, 7 games with Khalil Mack. We'll hire Rex Ryan. After a year with him, we'll find our proper head coach and the right quarterback. Right now, we're going with the best player available. And that wasn't Jimmy Garoppolo.
Okay. So I have now Oakland. Oakland is now on the clock, right?
Going
Yep.
back.
Oakland is now on the clock. I'm taking with this pick, the 5th pick in this 2014 redraft. I'm going with the most unguardable wide receiver in the NFL today, Devonta Adams. The most crisp route runner you'll ever see. The guy's open like 24/7, man. He's 7-Eleven. He's open all day. So I love the guy. Devonta Adams is an absolute stud. He's if you're a fantasy player, you know damn well you can always count on your points from this guy because he's always going to show up. As long as him and 12 were on the field, they were balling together. Now I know this is a different story because I'm taking him in Oakland, and I already gave up Derek Carr to the St. Louis Rams. but I guess they'll find a quarterback to feed this guy the ball.
So I've got a question for you. Between Matt Flynn, Green Bay product, Matt McGloin, and Terrell Pryor, which one of them is going to be throwing the football to him?
Matt Flynn, baby.
Yeah, he's really going to struggle, ain't he?
Matt Flynn. Well, I mean, then we tank, and then we go for the quarterback in 2015.
Quarterback to wide receiver. This is. Oh, jeez. I would have just. So, you know what? We'll trade back. But we can't really do that in this scenario. Maybe James White.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Number 6.
Number 6. Like my boy Baker Mayfield. With the 6th pick in the 2014 NFL redraft, the Atlanta Falcons select. Oh God, I hope I can say his last name. Joel Bitonio, offensive guard out of Nevada. All right. Now, maybe some people might say, "Oh, there's some other better players that they're going to take," but I'm going also off of. Listen, the Falcons that year they also took Jake Matthews, so they obviously were searching for the offensive guard because this is back when they had the Super Bowl aspirations. They had the quarterback, they had the receivers, they had to. Now they were trying to protect Matt Ryan, and I just think Joel Bitonio. Does anybody know how to say that? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, you're saying it correct.
Okay, Bitonio. He's better than Jake Matthews. I mean, he made a first-team All-Pro. He's been 3 times second-team All-Pro and a 4-time Pro Bowler. So you put that in there, I think he's instantly better than Jake Matthews. So I think that's kind of a no-brainer for the Atlanta Falcons in their current spot in 2014.
Okay.
Ooh, so Buccaneers GM here. What's your guys' take on Mike Glennon coming off of his rookie season?
Mike Glennon wasn't bad in his rookie year.
59% completion percentage. 200 yards a game. It was pretty bad.
I mean, from what I remember, he was kind of thrusted in an impossible position.
Yeah, they're gonna be really bad. I'm starting to realize that right now. Oh boy. Okay, so we're gonna do him a solid. Yep. We're gonna build around him until we can ultimately get a top pick in the 2015 NFL draft, which doesn't really look too much better with Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston, but we're gonna go offense here. You look at this team's receivers, and yeah, Vincent Jackson, may he rest in peace, but he's at a stage in his career where it's really his last couple of seasons. And though he just had 1,000 yards, he's already 31, turning 32. After him, we got Tim Wright, Tyquan Underwood, and Mike Williams. Yeah, so we need a receiver badly, and we're going to go with the best playmaker in this draft, Odell Beckham Jr. out of LSU, number 7 overall. We need to get a guy who can make it easy for Mike Glennon, can just make plays and make this team exciting. And look at a guy that's going to be marketable. He's going to be a lot of fun for the fans, but he's also going to be an absolute stud when he comes into the league. Odell's first 3 years, 1,300 yards, 1,450, 1,367. You don't see that every day. And I think you put him in a place where, hey, he's going to be our main man. He gets to learn from Vincent Jackson as well. Those 2 receivers. Tampa Bay has an electric playmaker at number 7.
So I might get some heat for this one in Cleveland. But but looking at the roster, my quarterback is Brian Hoyer.
Oh my God, please no.
Listen, bro. He's not bad. He's a winner.
It's a winner.
I'm not just going best available, man. I'm looking for the face of my franchise. And I gotta go with porn star Jimmy G, man. Jimmy G. Yo, you need a quarterback under center, baby.
Can we boo this pick?
You'd be a terrible GM. You'd be a terrible GM.
We need a quarterback, man. What do you want to do?
There's like 14 players I would take before Jimmy
Okay,
G.
you know what? You're right. But if I'm going best available, fine. I'll erase the Jimmy G pick.
Thank
Best
you.
available.
But you can't
I
do that now. You already made the pick.
no. I didn't submit the card to Rod.
Oh, yes, you did. Yes, you
I did
did.
not give him the
No,
card.
no, there's a 10-second cutoff point. You passed that. You voted
No,
Jimmy
you guys
G.
were
Yeah,
cutting
stick
me
to your guns. You gotta stick to your guns. This is your pick.
You went
All right,
there.
fine.
Roger Goodell's already at the stage, bro.
All right, I'm just gonna defend Jimmy G. Listen, Jimmy G with New England, he stepped into a situation, he won. He walked into San Francisco, he stepped into that situation, he won and led them to a Super Bowl appearance. Every chance that he's been healthy, he's led his team to wins. He may not be the quarterback that's going to make the sexy play. Sure, he'll get under your skin sometimes and get you annoyed, but at the end of the day, he wins. And maybe it's just this infectious attitude that he brings, but whenever he's in the under center, it seems like they're winning. He plays winning football. Like I said, he's not Deshaun Watson, he's not Josh Allen, he's not Tom Brady. But if I can get me a quarterback that's going to win me some games, you take him.
Wow.
Did I do that okay? Did I
Two
defend him?
wrenches. Just you threw 2 wrenches. I mean, you just
He's gonna sink to the bottom of the ocean, Cleveland, let me tell you.
well, at least we know Justin will never be an NFL GM.
Wasn't Cleveland rumored to have wanted to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo when New England was shopping him?
Well, I'm sure they would take any
Wouldn't have
quarterback.
taken him with the 8th overall pick.
Yeah. There are some pretty good. Like, I passed up on Mike Evans, who's had 1,000 yards in every single year of his career to go.
That's what I was gonna say. Is I think Tampa would have went with Mike Evans, just stuck with it because he's been so consistent and no injuries, no drama. He's just been standard of consistency. But you won Odell. Okay, so oh my god, why do I have to suffer the wrenches being thrown into mine? But with the 9th pick in the 2014 NFL redraft, the Minnesota Vikings select Mike Evans, wide receiver. And like John just said before I made my pick, this man has played, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, every year, 1,000 yards. And one of those years, he only played 13 games and still had 1,100 yards. So think if he would have played 3 more games, he would have had probably his career year. I mean, second team All Pro, Super Bowl champion now, 4-time Pro Bowler. I think he's very underrated, actually. He's just been a model of consistency. I mean, there's nothing you can. I mean, yeah, you can nitpick and say he's not the fastest receiver, but that's not the game he plays. He's a physical receiver. He goes and gets the ball. He makes the tough catches. So, I think the Minnesota Vikings would be glad to welcome Mike Evans into their locker room.
Now, like Devontae and Mike Glennon, you know, or no, Devontae and who? Odell, because he has Mike Glennon. Those quarterbacks are pretty trash, but you guys are familiar with this quarterback. Matt Cassell and Christian Ponder throwing the football to Mike Evans. So I actually have a little bit more faith there, though it's, next to none. Christian Ponder, he has a sick last name, so coming out of the 2011 draft, I was always a fan.
Sick.
Yeah, I was an 8-year-old kid at the time, too. I mean, Matt Cassell, that's a veteran. He made a Pro Bowl a couple years before. Mike Evans isn't going to an absolute dumpster fire for Mike Glennon, so that's solid. Now, at the 10th overall pick, we're working collaboratively here. Now, I know Chester using this. He would dart to make
Gonna ruin it.
Teddy Bridgewater
Yeah,
the Lions'
we
next
should
quarterback.
select Johnny Manziel.
I was thinking
Just do
Tom
it.
Savage. I was thinking.
Let's go Johnny Manziel. Let's just do it.
So the Lions have Matthew Stafford, their franchise quarterback, obviously. And in 2014, yeah, I mean, he's been at this now for a while. They're coming off a 7-9 season, and obviously you have Calvin Johnson, you have Reggie Bush, but you say to yourself, do we just do everything we can to add a little bit more in here? Even Joy Bell, he got over 100 or 1,150 yards in the 2013 season. So they got receivers at the backfield too. But to me, I'm looking around. Nate Burleson's all number 2. Can we add a little more talent there? We got
Calvin
Allen
still.
Robinson on the board. Even Martavis Bryant. Can you imagine Martavis Bryant playing off of Calvin Johnson as number 2? Matthew Stafford would be an awesome fit with him. I could also go Taylor Lewan at offensive tackle. I think that's a safe pick. Corey Linsley at center.
Do you want to know who I would go with?
Let's hear it.
My pick, and I had him written down. He's still available, and I think you should. I looked at this team a little bit, and I just said, okay, so this was the year that Matt Stafford really had that really solid team around him. If you really look at the totality of the team, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
on the D line alone, they had Ziggy Ansah, Nick Farley, and then Ndamukong Suh in his prime, and probably some other couples that a couple people I'm forgetting.
Glover
They're a really
Quinn.
solid team. So I think at this point, again, just like the Atlanta Falcons, they're trying to protect their quarterback. So I would go. I would have went offensive lineman, and I would have went Trey Turner.
Hmm. I would make Corey Linsley has just been so consistent through his career. Like Trey Turner, he's been done the last 2 years. And while he came in immediately for what it was the Panthers, Trey, and he was a Pro Bowler his first 5 to 6 seasons.
5 years he fought in the 5 times.
Yeah. Hmm.
I
We
would
can
just
also
say,
go
I mean,
Taylor
but you
Lewan.
got to think. You can't think like he hasn't been good the last 2 seasons because this is 2014 we're talking about. So he would instantly be a plug-in player that would be producing for you at a Pro Bowl caliber level for 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Justin, would you go backup quarterback here with Bridgewater?
No, I was thinking Tom Savage or Zach Mettenberger. No, but in all seriousness, all right, I don't know if this is a wrench to you guys, but I'm gonna go with a 2-time Pro Bowler here. Uh think of this guy at his best. I like DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean, somebody that's
Mm-hmm.
gonna get to the quarterback, get the ball right back into Matt Stafford's hands, and just absolutely apply massive pressure on a quarterback. You throw that with Ndamukong Suh, I think that's scary, man. That would have been scary. I mean,
Yeah.
he was a great player for Dallas for some time, and he earned a big contract, and then sort of, fell off a cliff a little bit. We haven't heard his name as much as we probably should. But I like DeMarcus Lawrence. I don't think he's a bad player, and you pair him up with a solid front seven that way, uh, that's dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Here's our dilemma. So Dominic Raiola, our center, is 35 years old. And we have a pretty awesome center prospect in Corey Linsley is sitting right here. And, the center position is big. We already got our left tackle. I think the move here, we got to go center. Because they got Riley Reef, a young one. Larry Walford at right guard.
Mm.
What do you think? They got Golden Tate on this team as well. I did not even mention, by the way, young Golden Tate. Because
I mean, I
I
definitely
think he would
agree.
sign there. He would sign there. That
Yeah,
also.
he
I
was good.
definitely
He was
agree
good
it's
with
O
Detroit.
line. And the other reason I think D Law is a great player. I just think that they have a lot of talent on the D line for the Lions. So I think that they would look at and say, okay, we don't need any more talent there. Yes, it would be nice, but we should also share some love. And I think they really want to protect Matt Stafford. So I mean, we could go the center. I mean, it's not like I mean, you're splitting hairs here with Trey Turner and Corey Lindsay or Lindsley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not mad
Lindsley.
at taking the center.
So what you guys are telling me is that you've disliked each and every one of my picks.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. What was your? I'm trying to think. You took
Besides
Devontae
Devonta
wasn't
Adams.
bad. I mean, at least you
Besides
took
Devonta.
Devontae
Devontae.
was solid. He just has no one to throw the ball to him.
The other one's just I don't know what you're doing.
I just like Lindsley. You slot him right in at center, and that's a big time position for Stafford. Plays a pretty good offensive line, and like I said, they're going to sign Golden Tate in a few weeks, or they already signed him at that point. Corey Linsley is number 10. So to recap, Aaron Donald went to the Texans first overall. Derek Carr at Fresno State, number 2 to the Rams. Number 3, Zach Martin at Notre Dame. Number 4, the product of Buffalo. Khalil Mack goes to the Bills. Number 5, Devonta Adams. Going to have a really rough time playing in Oakland. Number 6, Joel Bitonio. So the Falcons can Matt Ryan's protection. Number 7, Odell Beckham Jr. to play with Mike Glennon in Tampa Bay. Number 8, the Browns. They're sinking, and Jimmy Garoppolo is going right with them. Yeah.
It's such a Cleveland Browns pick, though, too. To be honest, it's such a Cleveland. Of course, they why not?
Yeah. For the 9th overall pick, the Vikings are taking Mike Evans, and 10th overall pick, the Lions will take Corey Linsley.